Can you hear me? Wonderful. Okay, we'll get started in about 5 minutes. Hey, Paula. Good evening, ladies.
Where'd she go?
Kind of like this.
Don't do it. No! Dang it, Adrian. Ah, crap.
Everything's for your eyes too, bro.
You're right.
Yeah, dingus.
Hi, Diana.
Hello.
Okay, that works.
I think that was Lisa. Can't hear. Stop, back up, back. Stop.
Hello, hello.
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 Is it Lisa?
Can't see her yet.
How is everybody doing tonight? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Excuse my voice, and I do have a nice little thieves cough drop in my mouth right now, so you may see me taking it in and out of my paper. But I am fighting a cold with a lot of wonderful oils and products. Looks like we've got Paula, hello, Lisa, Diana, Beth,
Hello.
Jillian, Tina, Christine, Katja, Paul and Karen, Jill, I see your ceiling, and Alicia.
Hello.
Hi, Becky. Becky, did you get your hair lightened, or is it just the sun shining on it, making it look so beautiful?
Aw, you're so sweet. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know. I haven't gotten it lightened anymore, so
Must be the way the sun's shining on it. Hi, Rachel. Hello, Rebecca. We'll give everybody
a
a
screen that lets me see everybody.
You should be able to push a button that allows you to see more people. You may have to shift through since you're on your phone.
Okay.
Yes, your video's off, Jill.
Well,
Oh, no, it's not.
no, we see your ceiling, Jill.
Hi.
Hello, Brenda.
Hi there.
If you guys won't mind praying for my voice that I do not lose it before we get done tonight.
Yes. Were you
Tina?
screaming a lot today or this weekend?
I probably did do a lot of screaming this last week. But everybody in my family has had a cold, and I thought I was going to make it through without, but we had a busy week last week, and probably being with lots and lots of people and being in a hotel room with all of us and
Yeah.
all the fun we had. And I'm admitting I ate a bunch of crap, and that's why I feel that way.
It happens when you're on vacation or doing.
Yeah. So pie day, 3:14, I had pie. 3:15, I said, I don't know that the pie was worth it. No more pie for Shauna. Shauna's done with the pie. Tina, I don't know what's going on with your video, but it's quite colorful.
I don't know. I don't know what it's doing.
So we have a person on the phone that is 659-6867. I would love to know who that is. If you could put in the chat or if you can talk to us.
It's Melissa Cox.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Hello, Sue. Hello, Tammy.
Hello.
Jill, if you can hear me, we no longer can see your ceiling. And I can see Tina, and she's not all colorful. All right. So just to kind of say what we're going to be doing tonight a little bit, I do have a PowerPoint that I will be getting on here in a few minutes. But this week, I'm calling foundational training. We're actually going to start module 1 next week. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I was at basketball tournament last week and did not, I should say I didn't get everything done that I wanted to get done. I should say that I spent time intentionally watching basketball with my family. And there was so much information that I wanted to put into module 1. I wasn't sure where to start and stop. So I have divided it up and we have foundational training this week and module 1 next week. So you're actually going to learn more about what's called the reverse invite method next week. But there is so much information I wanted to go over before we even got there that we are going to do that today. So it all really worked out perfectly, because there's still so much information. Hello, Mom. You are a red screen, but I do see your name. So we are at 7:06. I'd really like to go ahead and get started. If Sunshine, do you mind muting everybody and then I can unmute myself maybe?
Everybody's
Well-
muted. Everybody's muted and we're ready to go.
Okay, great. There are times, guys, I'm going to ask you to type in the chat box, and there are times I'm going to be saying, hey, who's going to speak? I would love tonight for everybody to have an opportunity to speak at some time. So if you are not speaking, you may hear me say something like, Tammy, and ask a question, because I want to make sure that this is something for all of us, okay? So it's going to help if you guys answer the questions and go along with me, okay? So again, this is, let me see if I can share real quick. Let's make sure this is going to work for us. Are y'all seeing my screen?
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you. Let's see if I can get it where you can just see. There we go. How's that? All right. So again, I want to welcome you to this foundational training. This is also called the reverse invite method. Some people call it RIM, R-I-M, so I'm going to use that a lot. But also it's called attraction marketing, and that's really what we want to think about is attraction. I think most of you guys I have met before in some fashion, but I do want to tell you a little bit about myself. I have been a member since July of 2011, guys. I have been working the business since January 2013. I had my first six-figure income ever in 2014. Okay, I've been a physical therapist for over 25 years, and I have not practiced for pay as a physical therapist since 2014. But I did work on 3 people last week, maybe even 4. I know 3 if you didn't count family, while we were at a basketball tournament. So I say I do not work for pay as a physical therapist, but I still feel like I'm using my skills on a daily basis. My husband Kevin and I have 3 children. Our oldest is Ryan, who is currently at the University of Oklahoma, majoring in accounting, and is 22 years old and has absolutely 0 debt. Is Mama proud of that? Yes, because Young Living is allowing him to go to college debt-free. Our daughter is 18 years old. She is about to graduate from high school, and she has been doing competitive dancing since she was 11. And I'm going to say thanks to Young Living again, because I do not know that she would have been able to do as many dances, have as many costumes, and go to as many places if we did not have the income we did from Young Living. Our youngest is 12, and he loves to play basketball and golf. And I will tell you, basketball is much cheaper than golf. Golf may not be quite as expensive as dance, but it is not one of the cheap sports to play. He actually made the high school homeschool golf team this last fall and has dreams of being a professional golfer. So he also shares the same dream as his dad and I of going and traveling this next year in an RV. And we just became, I don't know if you call it the proud parents of an RV, we're the proud something of an RV. We're working on getting that all taken care of, but we did pick it out, sign some papers and all that good stuff. But I tell you all this because it's the reason why I went through this same training program that I am going to be going over with you guys, okay? We're going to be doing this for the next 7 weeks. It is a training that I personally paid for and went through and felt like it was something that I wanted to be able to share with you. So our goal, and I'm going to move some of this. Some of you guys are I'm just moving stuff around here. So our foundational training goal for today and through this whole training is to have a marketing plan to use with our 6 squared strategy, okay? If you are like me, feel free to put in the chat box, I don't know I ever had a marketing plan. Does anybody have a marketing plan in place right now? If so, I would love to see in the chat box that you do, all right? And I'm trying to see, let's see. I can get my no plan in place. I do not have one. Nope. Anybody have one? All I'm seeing is nopes. Not for my wireless stuff, but Angela, does that mean you did have one or do have one maybe for your diligent woman? No, just do it. I don't know what. I love that, Lisa. What's a marketing plan? Exactly, Christine. What is a marketing plan? Okay. So today the foundation is as important as any of the modules we go over in the next 6 weeks after this week, guys. It really is, because if you don't know the answers to the questions that I'm going to be asking you guys and that you're going to be working with your accountability partners with, you're not going to be able to put together a marketing plan. All right. So this again is the foundation. I know it's kind of last minute, guys, but I did post in the Facebook group and sent out a text that you could print off a little foundation trainings notes worksheet. Did anybody happen to see that? So if not, just make sure you have paper and a pencil or a pen to write notes, but I was trying to make it a little bit easier on the things that I feel like is very important for you to have for tonight. But I'm going to be posting it all on here so you'll be able to see it too. Okay, so who here watched the Be, Do, Have video that I put into the beta test group this last week? Good, Tammy did. Yes, Beth said I did today. Good. That was just like a kind of preamble, guys. It's so interesting to me that once you start hearing these things, you hear it over and over again. And again, this be, do, have, do, be, have, however you want to look at it, is going to be important as we move along on our marketing plan. So if you haven't watched that video, please do. I also have a printable on the practicing be, do, have. If you could print that off or at least take a picture of it and look at it and go over it. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. But I just want you to know that I found it's really important to know these things as we're moving through. Okay? So it's not letting me. There we go. So here is my question for you guys. In the Be Do Have, we kind of talk about our vision for our life. And I find that maybe this is kind of the area that I have made a mistake in when it comes to goals, dreams, visions. I have that for my life. I have a vision board for my life of all the things I want to accomplish. But what I've been learning in this training is, what is your vision for your business? Has anybody thought about what actually is their vision for their business? You don't have to know that answer right now, but if you do have an answer and you would like to share it with us, I would love to see it. But I want you to know that to move through this marketing plan, you are going to want to know, what is your vision for this business? All right. My next question for you is, what would you do if you had the business in your vision? Okay. So what would you do? What would you have if you had the business in your vision? Okay. We talk about all these things that we want, we want to have and all this, but how is that related to your business vision? Okay. And the next one is, who would you be if you had the business in your vision? Okay. So those are questions that I actually have on a worksheet that you're going to be working with your accountability partner this next week. And so I will post that in our group for you all to have for this next week. But I think it's really important that not only do you think about it, but that's what's so great about having an accountability partner, is them asking you that question, because you're going to need to know the answer, right? If someone's asking you a question. Now, it's called the Get to Know Worksheet. So just to let you know, I will be posting that. And who's excited about having an accountability partner? Sunshine is. That's my accountability partner. Anybody else excited to have an accountability partner? What do y'all guys think about it? Feel free to put in the comments here. I'm still scrolling down. Let's see here. Teresa is, Virginia is, Beth is. I'm glad to have one. Keep me in line. Yes, excited. Good. I'm so glad, guys, because like Sunshine and I've said before, we're accountability partners. Sometimes we call each other accountability buddies. Accountability buddies. I don't know if I can say that with my voice right now, but it has really helped, and we are really going to work with you guys on being able to do that, because having that soundboard is going to be so, so important as we go through this process, okay? So right now we're going to talk business. Who's ready to talk some business? We are in the business of network marketing. In case you didn't know that, that is our business, okay? It is a profession. Just like any other profession. There's lawyers, there's doctors, there's car salesmen, there's good network marketers, and well, there's ones that give it a bad name. The question is, am I giving network marketing a bad name, or are you giving network marketers a bad name? Do you know someone that may be giving network marketing a bad name? Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that a little. I'm looking at some of the chat in here. Okay, so as physical therapists, my husband and I, we had a practice for about, I think it was about 12 years, and we marketed ourselves as physical therapists, and we marketed our physical therapy clinic, okay? But I'll be honest with you guys, we did not go out and like tell every single friend, family member, neighbor, like, you need physical therapy. Right? We didn't go, oh my gosh, you need physical therapy. Hey, who needs, we really just didn't do that. We did have an open house when we first got started, because we wanted people to know that we had a business, and we wanted people to know what we were doing and where we were located and what we did. So yes, we want to let people know what we do. Okay. So I'm not saying that this is something that we want to hide, that we're network marketers, but I want you to be aware as we move forward that how we want to go about this, being professional, okay? So I didn't call up my friends and say, hey, Did you know I'm a physical therapist? Did you know I opened up a physical therapy clinic? I'm thinking you need some physical therapy. Everybody needs some physical therapy, right? I didn't message or beg my friends, my family, my neighbors. But here's the thing. Remember I said this weekend I saw at least 3 or 4 people, and I'd have to remember because people are coming into our hotel room, mostly kids. I think it was 3. We didn't go out and market that we're physical therapists. People knocked on our door, gave our kids a call. Hey, can your parents help us? They had a problem. They knew who to contact. They came to us and we did what we could to help them solve their problem. Okay. I want you to kind of think about that as we're moving forward on being professional and how we can market ourselves without people feeling like we're chasing them. Okay. So I would really like and have always thought of my Young Living business being a lot like our physical therapy business. My goal was never to chase people. I always wanted people to feel like they could benefit from my products. I never wanted to like message and plaster my products here, there, and everywhere just to try to get my message out there. Will I say that I never did? No, because I know that I have, okay? But the question is, what kind of message was I sending out when I was posting things or when I was talking to people? So I want you to think about maybe the type of message you have been sending out to people about yourself and your business. And does that match up to what your business vision is? So remember that question I had earlier for you. What is your business vision? I will say for me, my business vision was never that I was going to sell an oil. Okay. I never wanted to be the Avon lady. Okay. So my business vision always looks specifically about educating people and helping people get what they needed to solve their problems. Okay. So that's just a little bit about my vision. I'll be talking more to my accountability buddy about that this next week. Okay. This profession, like I said, looks like other professions. Let me see why it's not letting me turn here. Okay. It's very complex. So if you have your little worksheet, I had some places that you could fill in these blanks. If not, you can write this down, take a picture. But we are a profession about building relationships. Everybody's heard that before, right? We are about customer service. That is part of our job. When we help somebody get started, we want to be their customer service before they ever even call Young Living needing assistance. Action on our part, okay? We need to play a part in our business. We cannot just sit back and even though we like to use the word organically, a plant is not going to grow if you do not put the seed in the ground, right? So if we think that our business is going to grow, if we never plant a seed, it's not going to happen. We have to take action. Team building, what we're doing now, that's very important. Education is very important. Mindset growth. For those of you that were in Claiming Your Harvest, that was a big part of our Claiming Your Harvest was mindset growth. Skills in marketing. So as I go through 1 through 7 here, for me, that's an area that I was like, I don't have a marketing plan. I'm not saying I don't do any marketing, but that wasn't planned. I didn't have a specific way. So that's why I went out and I found what I felt like was going to work for me, work for 6 Squared Strategy. And then once I went through it, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to share this with others. Okay. It looks like Paul has a question. Let me see. Hey, Paul, can you text that to me later and I will try and get back with you on that question? Because I want to answer that, but just not right now. All right. So in this 7-week training, we're going to look at a specific type of marketing training called attraction marketing. Okay. So I am not saying, guys, that there are not 100 different ways that you could market your business, because there are. Every guru out there has a marketing plan, a marketing business. Sorry, thieves cough drop. Going back in. Oh my. So Our first goal should never be to sell a product. Has anybody ever heard that before? Did Gary Young put together all these products so that we could sell them? Does anybody know what Gary used to say on why we have the products we do? Feel free to put it in the chat. For a purpose. Exactly. Who is those for? Who was the purpose for? For people, right? So our first goal should always be serving people first. If we think of it that way, as we're moving forward on our marketing, that it's not about the product, but it's about the people and how we can serve them. Thank you, Sunshine. I never made a product for profit. I always made a product for a purpose. Okay? He made it for a purpose so that he could serve us, right? That's what Gary was so good about doing, is serving us. So as we move forward, I really want you to think about our first goal should always be serving people first. The product is going to come because there are great products, but we need to serve people first. So find a need, fill a need. Who's heard this before? Find a need, fill a need. So my question for you is, how are you serving people in your business right now? And I would love for a few of you just to put in the chat box how you're serving people in your business right now. And if you don't have an answer, guess what? That's okay. Because again, this is on your worksheet that you're going to be doing this next week with your accountability person. But I want you to think right now, how are you serving people in your business? And just building relationships. Good. Jill? Anybody else? Trying to tell them how the oils could help them? Okay. Melissa, that's great. Can you tell me how that's serving them, though? Can you get a little more specific for me? Having classes, Mom, great. Again, how is that serving them? I know you guys have great answers, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper, and I'm going to ask you, how is that serving them? So encouraging and teaching, helping feel healthier without side effects. Okay, Tina, good. Introducing and teaching them about oils for their health. Good. Investing more time in my personals. Okay, Sunshine, great. Continuing education for the wellness. Available on calls, texts, and answering questions. Good, guys. If they have an issue, tell them we have something that could help their issue. Thank you, Melissa. Yes, that's getting back better into the serving part. So my question for you is, who are you serving? Anybody want to add in the chat who they are serving these days? I love that I put out education hoping it reaches a need. One thing I hope that you will learn from this process is I want you to think about the need first and who you're going to educate and how you're going to educate them. Just going to throw some of these things out as we go forward. Encourage people to realize their ability to make decisions about their health. Love that. People in the communities who you're serving, your family, your friends. Good. Team members plus people I see during the day. Great, guys. So I'm asking you these questions because these are things that you're going to need to know as we go into Module 1 next week. We're really going to talk specifically, but today, remember, I'm setting this foundation, so I want to get you guys to start thinking maybe a little bit differently. So in the next 7 weeks, it'll be important to know these answers so that you can build your business and market to the people that you are wanting to serve. So Sunshine and I actually walked through the exact process that you're going to learn in the next 7 weeks. That's what we did to get you here to this group. So right here you can see, I'm not going to try and read all that because I don't think my voice is going to let me, but you saw this on our 6 Squared Facebook group. And I want to share with you guys a little bit. This is something that I put together that I learned in the training I was going through. And one of the questions they were asking are the questions I've been asking you. So who do I want to serve? Okay. Well, there are lots of people I want to serve, but right now, some of the people that are very, very important to me is this 6 Squared Strategy Facebook group. Okay, the people that have decided to follow along with Sunshine and I on the 6 Squared Strategy. And I personally believe that the strategy works and that it has, but we were missing something, and it was this marketing plan that was going to allow us to move forward, which is, again, why I went through the training. So when they asked me, who do I want to serve? The first thing I thought is I want to serve the people in 6 Squared. So you guys are what's called my target audience or my target market. If I had posted this same thing right here in my personal Facebook group, or I should say my personal Facebook page, do you think people would have even understood what I was talking about? And if so, they're thinking, well, why is she chasing them in the first place? Okay. So one of the things I want you to think about and that you're going to be learning as we move forward is it's very important that we know who it is we're wanting to serve. And there may be lots of different groups of people you're going to serve, but based on who you choose to serve, how you're going to market to them. Okay. So I had a goal. My goal was to see who would be interested in learning this training that I just went through to lock arms with me and a few other people, and I knew that I wanted them to be part of the 6 Squared Strategy. So we have 85 people in that 6 Squared Strategy Facebook group. So I knew that this right here, my target audience was fairly small. 85 is less than 100, so that's not real big, right? So those are the people that I wanted to make sure that we're going to get this message. With this, I had put together what this is called the reverse invite message right here, or the REM. So if you're curious about what a reverse invite message is, that right there is a reverse invite message. My goal was to see who was interested in accomplishing what I wrote on my page. How to get people to invite themselves to take a look without you chasing them. My goal was, how do I get you to invite yourself to the beta test group without me going to each and every one of you saying, hey, are you interested in being part of another group? Because everyone's going to say no. Who wants to be part of another Facebook group? Not me, right? But I asked you in a way that was going towards your own pains, your own problems, right? Because a lot of us were feeling this way. We had, if you guys noticed, there was over 130 messages on that one Facebook post. Our 6 Squared Strategy group with 85 people in it does not get a lot of motion going, okay? And that's okay because we know that you're all in a lot of groups. But if you want people to see something, you want to be able to post something that's going to get people's interest and is going to get you lots and lots of messages. Okay. Now, again, I was going to read that, but I'm not. So if you guys don't remember, if you want to I'm going to keep this on here. I know if you're on a phone, it's probably hard to see. But I would like you to think a little bit about the things that I wrote on this post. If anybody would like to unmute yourself and answer this question, I would love to hear how you felt when you saw this post and when you read it.
Shauna,
Yep.
I felt excited and felt like it was something that it was very doable and something that I could get behind and do.
Sunshine said thank you, Tammy. Sunshine said she would read this. Would it help you guys if you cannot read this for her to read it to be able to answer these questions? Because I know it's been a month ago before this was posted, since this was posted. Just raise your hand if you would like for her to read it. If not, if you feel like you remember and this is good enough, we're going to go on. Sue says her sound is really messed up. I'm sorry, Sue. Anybody else have anything about how they felt when they read and saw this?
Shauna,
Yes.
I will say the emoji stressed me out.
I think that's my personality type showing. But it piqued my interest because it didn't answer to my need, but the words were very much, they were all pitching towards the things that I've been working on. And so it didn't give me, it required me to take the next step to get the information. So it teased it while piquing my interest, but not stressing me out information wise, just the emojis did. So
Awesome. So here, I am not a big emoji girl. I am a big exclamation point person. But I would love to hear anybody that liked the emojis. And I want you to put yes if you did and your color, because I know Angela is more of a red-green. Correct, Angela? Sunshine said, I love them. Sunshine is a blue-red. Christine said it felt like it was an answer to a prayer. Jonna said yes, yellow, blue, green, red in that order. Another blue, red. So one of the things we're going to learn as you learn to put on a REM, a reverse invite method, is you want to hit all of the colors if you would like to serve all of the colors. If you want to serve only blues, do a lot of emojis, but nothing else. If you want to serve the greens, you want to give some facts. If you want reds only, short and sweet. Okay? If you want yellows that are serving, you want to give them enough information that they're willing to move forward on something because they want to make sure that's going to be helping others. Okay? So, if you notice, there was a lot of information in there without a whole lot of information, right? I didn't tell you exactly I told you what you're going to get, but I didn't tell you what you're going to have to do to get what you're going to get, I guess you could say. Beth, let's see what you said here. Beth doesn't want to appear salesy. Okay, so did you feel like I was selling you something? I would love to hear when you read that if you felt like you were being sold to. Beth said no. Okay. Now, it felt like a solution, Sunshine said. Rachel said no. So what were some of the pains and struggles that I listed? Can anybody tell me a pain or a struggle that I listed in this post? I love that, Angela. Focus was on the result, not the process so much, just that there was a process. Happy red, green information. Okay, anybody tell me what their pains and the struggles that I listed on here?
Shauna,
Mm-hmm.
I think you listed exactly on where I couldn't get anybody who, I mean, I might be able to sell a kit, but then nobody wanted to put the work in. So you kind of listed that on there as well.
Okay. So that was one of your pains and struggles that you were like, hey, yeah, that's me, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the wants or the desires that I listed in here that you guys were like, yeah, I want that? Anybody? Not having to chase them. They seek you out. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. A lot of it is not having to chase people and call them, and, you know, for people to want to come to me and then me to be able to share with them. I enjoy doing that, but I was starting to feel like I was starting to bug people or call them too much or already ask them, and, you know, didn't want to beg.
So you felt like I put in their information that was what you were wanting, what you desired. Is that what you're saying? Good. So what was my call to action? Does everybody know what a call to action is? This is what I was asking you to do. Anybody tell me what I asked you to do? Type me in the comments. Good. Anything else? Was it a pretty simple call to action? I mean, is typing me or putting an emoji in there real hard? No risk, Paula says. Simple, yes. Okay. So if you see here, because I'm going to kind of walk you through this process, I gave a lot of information, even though it was kind of the same information in different ways, because I used the pains, the struggles we were having, and I gave you your desires and your wants of what you were wanting. And I gave you enough information that you were like, oh, you felt like, hey, that might be me. I might want more information. But I didn't make you do a whole lot to get more information, right? I just said me or an emoji. And there's two reasons for that. One reason is because I want to give you guys more information, right? I would like to give all 85 of you guys that were in that group, okay? Because we want to help everybody. But the thing is sometimes us wanting to help everybody doesn't allow us to help the people that really want the help, okay? Does that make sense? So what that allowed me to do was, instead of sending messages to 85 people, I sent messages to 50. Now, I'll be honest, 50 out of 85 is pretty darn good, okay? If I had got 30 out of 85, I would have been happy, okay? Now, would I have been disappointed if all 85 people liked this message? Well, of course not. It would have been great. But who I was marketing to was in a small group. There was only 85 people, and I wanted to find the people that this marketing plan was going to work for. Because remember, I told you guys, there are lots of different marketing plans out here. This is one. I wanted to find the people that this would benefit. So 50 people responded out of that 85. And I sent to those 50, we had, let's see how many people. It was all about sending you to the qualification survey. So those of you that got the message then had to go to the survey. Now, how many of you felt like, hey, she's making me jump through some hoops? First, she sends me a Facebook message, and now she's sending me to a qualification survey. Does anybody know why I would want you to go and fill out a qualification survey?
Would it be to only get those that are truly interested?
Because if someone looks at that and says, oh my goodness, this is too much work to fill out a survey, how many of those people are going to think this is too much work to write up something like this that I posted? Okay. I wanted to find people that were willing to take the steps that it's going to need to take as we work through this 7-week process. Okay. Now, as you move forward and you learn this, you may not find that a qualification survey is something you want to do. But for me, before I get on a phone call with somebody, I want to know that this is someone that's serious. Okay? So that qualification survey was helping me get to that next step in this funnel to know who I actually wanted to talk on the phone with. Okay? So after you did your qualification survey, then you got a message of, hey, let's book a call. Okay. Now, how many of you were like, I don't know that I want to talk to her on a Zoom call or Sunshine? Did it freak any of you guys out? Or was everybody like, hey, great, we get to do this? Okay. We had 35 people, maybe 36 people that out of that 50 that went through the process to get to the call. Okay, so you see how we went from 85 to 50 down to 35. Okay, Angela said she just wasn't sure if she had enough information to bring the call effectively. Angela, part of the point of that is we don't want too much information because we wanted you to come to the call to get the information. And sometimes we give people more information than maybe they can understand. to make a decision, whereas if we are there to be able to answer questions, it helps people to make a decision. And at least that's what I'm finding in the training, because I'm one of those people that I would have just given like the whole outline in the personal message, like, hey, this is what you're going to learn. You want to do it or not? Instead of coming to me with the call and going through it and having the opportunity to talk through it. So, yes, Tammy, it's a funnel. Yes, and Beth said it probably would have freaked me out if I hadn't already done Zoom calls with you before. Jill said the timing was bad for her. Okay. Did you have any no-shows for the calls? I personally did not have any no-shows for the calls, and I had all yeses for the calls that I did. Sunshine, how about you? Did you have any no-show calls or any no's? All mine were rescheduled if they couldn't make it. Great. So guys, if you get people to the point that they're going to schedule and then do a call with you, you know that they're pretty serious, okay? And that's what we're looking for in this 6 squared strategy, right? How many people have been disappointed because they think this person is going to be great to do this as a business, right? That person may not know that they're going to be great at doing this in business, and they may have not taken the steps. They get their kit and they're like, that's really all I want, but I kind of told her I'll do this as a business just to kind of get her off my back. We didn't really find the people that we're looking for, the kind of people. Okay, so I just want to say, guys, I am so thankful that you are here doing this beta test group with us, because I am looking for people to see how this is going to work as we move forward. And here's the thing, we have to go through the process. So the other thing I loved about this process is it was your decision. So at least I feel like it was your decision. Does anybody feel like I talked you into it, or sometimes talked you into doing something, or did you feel like you got to make a decision as we worked through this process? Feel free to comment in the chat or unmute you.
Shauna?
Yep.
I think I felt by the time that I did a Zoom call, my decision was already made.
Good. Good. I'm seeing a lot of my decision. No, did not feel pushed. Good. That's the thing that I've learned through this training that you guys are going to learn in the following 6 weeks, is how we can do that. Because I personally believe everyone in the world could benefit from Young Living. Okay. Do I believe that Young Living Business would be great for every one of my 4,000 plus members? Yes. Do I believe that the 6 squared strategy could help each of my people doing the business? Yes. Do I believe that learning the training I paid for and learned from industry experts could help everyone in the 6 squared strategy group? Yes. But what I believe does not get people to commit to being WILE members, okay? Or doing the business, or being a part of the 6 squared strategy, or being part of this beta test group. Okay, it's helping people see that I have a solution to a problem they are personally having, and letting them decide if they believe that what I have will help them. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to read it again. It's helping people see that I have a solution to a problem they are personally having, and letting them decide if they believe that what I have will help them. So I wanted to help those in the 6 squared strategy, the people that had committed to that, okay? I could see that I found a solution by doing this training to a problem that I heard many of you, I'm not going to say complain, but we're having when we were talking about inviting people to take a look. Well, you know, people are saying no, or people are saying this. So I saw that there was a problem. I found a solution. I wanted to help. But just because I believe that it'll work for me, I could not make the decision for those 85 people. That is why we did not put this training in the 6 squared strategy group right now, okay? I wanted you guys to believe that this could work for you. So, who has heard of good old Jeff Foxworthy, and you know the good old "you might be a redneck if"? Okay, so why do we often feel like we're repelling people instead of attracting people? I'd love for you to put some comments down here, and then I'm going to share a few of my own, okay? But I would love to know, you might be a network marketer repeller if, what? Feel free to put in the chat box. I'll start with one. If you post your products on your personal Facebook page, you might be considered a marketer repeller. Sunshine says if you post nonstop. Anybody else got another one? You always steer the conversation to your products. Yes, Paula. You call the same person 10 times, Lisa says. Jill, 50 times per day. You cold message everyone on your list. You might be a network marketer repeller if your friends quit taking your calls. Yes. How about you go to parties just so you can share your product? Anybody guilty? Angela, you only comment when you have a product for their shared issue. You only talk to people about Young Living, okay? How about this one? You carry product samples in your bra just in case you run into someone, right? How about you leave your card and samples laying around for people to find? How about you think nonstop about who could be the next one you can share with? You message someone about products that you haven't talked to in years. Yes. So how many of us may be guilty of being a network marketer repeller? Jill, great. I post on my personal wall because I get more interaction there in my group. You are going to learn what they're recommending that we post on our personal Facebook walls. Okay, Lisa says guilty of all of it. Lisa, you are not alone. But guys, what we're learning here in the next 6 weeks is we do not want to repel people, but we do want to attract people. Who would like to be network marketer attractors instead of repellers? Okay, so when we get done with all this, we're going to have a long list of ways that we can attract people instead of repelling. So let's look at people in general. Okay, so how do we attract people to buy what we have to offer? Because we have great things to offer, right? I mean, it's not that we want to close our doors, close our mouths, close everything and say, okay, we want to attract, not repel. So here's the thing. Why do people buy? This is the $1 million question for entrepreneurs. However, as a rule, people don't want anybody trying to sell them anything. Would everybody agree? People do not want to be sold. Okay? No one likes a pushy salesman pressuring them to part with their money. The moment we hear a sales pitch, the defenses come right out because we feel like we have no control over the situation and like we're being manipulated. So those of you that had calls with me, at any time, did you feel like you had no control over the conversation that we were having? Sunshine says, will not buy if feel pushed. Teresa says no. Mom says no. Virginia says no. Okay? So why most folks despise dealing with salespeople? Think about it. You go into a store and the salesperson just says, hi, can I help you? And what do? What's everybody's answer to that usually? I'm just looking, right? I'm just looking. I'm just browsing. The poor salesperson, all they said is, how can I help? But hey, what happens when you're really interested? So I'm going to use mine and my husband's latest buy, our RV. The first time I ever went to look at RVs, and this was a couple years ago, the first thing we said when we walked in, because they had all these, hi, how are you doing, and stuff, we were like, we're just looking. We sure weren't going to tell them we were buying because we didn't know when we were going to be buying. And then we felt like they were following us and they were asking us all these questions that we didn't know the answers. Guys, by the end, I don't know how many people in the state of Oklahoma, Texas, Florida, Tennessee, and everywhere around had exactly what we were looking for and contacting us. Do you think my husband was upset when they were contacting us about the different RVs out there? No, because they were meeting our need. We shared our need. and they were meeting our need. Before that, all we wanted to do was look. So I want you to think about that as we move forward. Is where people are at, and we're actually going to be talking, it's called attraction marketing awareness. We're going to talk about that, I think, in module 3, but I really want you to think about where you're at in certain situations. Maybe if you're you're just, browsing at the mall, you really aren't buying anything, how you feel when that salesperson comes up to you and asks how you're doing that day, compared to you have 15 minutes to find the shirt that you need to get where you're going, and someone comes up to you and says, hey, how can I help you? Or even worse, you need help and you can't find anybody there, right? Ever been there? You need a salesperson and you're like, if I wasn't buying right now, there would be 10 people asking me questions. I am looking for this white shirt that's going to go with this jacket right now. I need it in the next 15 minutes, and there's nobody there to help, right? So just know that it is an automatic knee-jerk reaction for people to say that they're not interested or they're just looking when we bring things up, like someone coughs and we have an oil for them, right? I'm good. Okay. So how can you get people excited about buying? Does anybody know some ways that we can help people get excited about buying? Anybody have any answers for me? They are thinking of themselves, not you. Share a personal story vaguely. Good. Anybody else? When people feel like they are in control of the situation, they do not feel like they are being sold. Okay. How many of you like to be in control of the situation? I know I'm not the only control freak here, right? Okay, so here's the secret. People want to do business with those who are real and not with someone who's insincere or inauthentic, especially online. So nowadays people turn off anything that looks or smells fake, or they feel like they are being sold. Even if they want your product, service, or business opportunity, they are more likely to go where they feel that the person is thinking about helping them more than selling a product. Okay? So Tammy said, ask them that if you had something you thought could help, would they be interested? Perfect question, Tammy. You just put them in control. As soon as someone says yes to that, that is your open door to give them more information. Okay? The secret is how they get to know, like, and trust you. Building trust with your prospects must be one of your main goals. Remember, people first, okay? So that step 1 in the 6 squared was making a list. If you do not have a list, I still want you to make a list, okay? I'm not asking you in the next week, this next week, to call and invite them to anything. I'm asking you to make a list of people, because that list is still going to be very important for us to move forward. But I want you to think about step 2. Invite people to take a look. And sometimes you get someone to take a look, but maybe you feel most of the time you hear things like this: I don't have time. Or maybe they take a look and they start in with all the excuses. I don't have time to do what you do. I don't have time to sell products. How many people have heard, I don't have time to sell products? And you go, well, I don't sell products. I just share with people. Okay. If you're hearing someone say, I don't sell products, they feel like you have just sold them products. Okay. So start listening to the excuses that you may be hearing so that you can think about, remember this is called reverse. Think about how you can do things differently, because all of us are probably going to have similar things that we hear from people, but we all probably have things that are particular to us because of how we have been marketing ourselves, even if we didn't have a marketing plan, okay? So you're going to hear, I don't have time to blank. Whatever they say, think about that. Then they give you a list of all the things they have to do. How many times have you heard them say, I can't do this because I work a full-time job, or I homeschool, or we have lots of after-school activities, we volunteer at the church. All of those excuses, I want you to listen to those too. I want you to listen to understand, because let's be honest, we live in a world full of busy people, and my guess, each of you going through this training are super busy. Is there anybody here in this group that is not super busy? Do I have anybody? Okay, so the problem is that most people that tell us all those excuses do it because they don't realize what we have to offer. Okay, the products, the network marketing could actually be a solution to their problem and give them more freedom to do what they want to do and spend it with the ones they love. So I want you to be thinking and maybe even making a list of all those things. The people that say, I couldn't do what you do because I homeschool, or I can't do because I'm too busy doing something. Okay? I want you to think about that, because as we move forward, those are the solutions that you're going to be looking for. Those are their current excuses or problems. So how do we help people see that we have a wonderful solution for them? Well, it always starts with us, guys. Okay? So my question for you is, do you feel that Young Living has products that can help solve problems? I would love for someone to unmute themselves, at least one person, to tell me a Young Living product that can solve a problem. I don't want to just hear the product. I want to hear the problem that the product can solve. Okay? Anybody?
Peppermint. Peppermint. I love peppermint. It opens me up in the morning. It makes my tummy feel better. It makes me more alert. I can use it in a million different ways. I like it in my tea. I like it in my coffee.
Okay.
It's refreshing.
So I want one problem. I want one problem. So what's a problem? You told me lots of ways to use it and reasons, but what's the problem?
Sinus. Not sinuses in the morning.
Sinuses in the morning. So the problem is they have sinuses in the morning. Do what, Mom?
Sinus issues. Sinus issues in the morning.
Okay. So stopped up in the morning? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. So the problem is that we have people in the world that are stopped up in the morning, and your solution is to use peppermint by
Put it on my on my hands.
On your
hands. My hands and breathe it.
Okay. So how often do we pay more attention to the peppermint instead of maybe asking the question, are you stopped up? Are you having problems with being stopped up? And asking the question that Tammy shared earlier, if I had something that could help unstop your nose, would you be interested? Now we've put that person in control. Do you think someone's going to trust us a lot more if we ask them that question than if we just grabbed our peppermint and said, hey, this is going to help you be able to breathe? Or, hey, this is going to open up your sinuses. Okay. Jill says nitro for an energy boost, enzymes for indigestion. Okay. So I want you guys to start thinking in this next week about all the products that you use, but I want you to think of the problem and how you can solve it, but how you can specifically look at that problem and the solution before throwing out the product. Okay. Jill, is that FDI compliant? If you were to ask a person if their nose is stopped up right now, yeah, because you're not asking them if they have any type of disease or anything else. If you were to ask if they had a sinus infection, would that be compliant? No, especially if you were to tell them peppermint would solve a sinus infection, but that's not what we're doing. We're talking about being able to breathe, so, using that, okay? And yes, we do want to be compliant, but guys, there's so many ways we can be compliant because there's lots of issues and problems out there that are not non-compliant, especially if we're thinking about the actual problem. Okay, guys, I know on time that we're getting through, so if anybody needs to get off, I completely understand. This is going to be recorded, but I do have more information for you. I hope that this is bringing good information and helping you guys think, okay? I think that's one of the things that's hindered us from thinking this way, though. We've trained ourselves to completely avoid the problems. I know. I understand that, Beth. Again, we before, I'm going to say, for those that were in before, looked at problems being diagnoses and diseases. We have problems out there that are not diagnoses and diseases. I think I saw someone put about lavender and sleep, okay? How many times do you hear people complaining that they have a problem sleeping? Can we say insomnia? No, but man, people have problems sleeping. But what we do is we might throw out all these pictures online of lavender and how it helps with sleep. And we're not having the conversation just about how somebody's feeling. How does it feel not to get a good night's rest? So I want you to think about that reverse invite method that we did. I want you to think about all the things you may be feeling if you do not get a good night's sleep. Okay? Can you think of just a couple of things that might affect? Those are things that we can talk and get that conversation going and never, ever bring up lavender. And even, guys, some of the things that are considered non-compliant, if you are not throwing out a product with that question, it's okay. If you wanted to ask somebody the question, does anybody have problems with their 10th sinus infection this year? If you are not throwing out a product, you can ask that question. Does that make sense? Like our goal right here is not to throw out a product. Our goal is to find people's problems and think about how we can use our products for solutions. But we're not putting the two together right now. All right. And guys, again, the next 6 modules are going to help you put all this together. Today is about our foundation of really just starting to think about these things. So we've heard network marketing equals relationship marketing. I know this is probably not new for me to say that, right? And actually, let me go back for just a second. I'm going to go backwards just for a minute, because when I asked you the question, do we have Young Living products that can help solve problems? You guys threw out things. You know that there are solutions, right? My question is, do you feel network marketing is a wonderful solution? Okay? Because if you don't feel like network marketing is a good solution, you're going to have a hard time helping people see that it's a good solution. So all those things that we just started typing in here about products and stuff, I want you to be thinking about that. You don't have to put it in the chat box right now because of time, but I want you to think about how network marketing can be a wonderful solution. That's why I shared the information I did with you guys earlier tonight, okay? Now, again, those be, do, have questions and that video that I did, and I said I want you to go over it, it's because I also want you, again, to think about what your vision is for your business, what you would have, what you would do, and what would you be. I'm hoping all this information that we've gone through is helping you to think things a little bit differently about what you want your business to look like, okay? So on that sheet, practicing the be, do, have, it asks, who am I and what is important to me? It talks about the actions we do daily so that we can make an impact and have both the results and the outcome we want, okay? So a lot of times we think about what we want at the end, but we haven't thought about all the things that we're going to need to do to get there. But we have to be the person that we want to be. So if we think, I don't want to be a salesman, and we keep saying that, but we're throwing things up that makes us look like a salesperson, then those don't match. And that makes us feel very uncomfortable. And that's what people also see. Again, like I said, if I was to say, hey, you need some clarity, it's $29.75, and they're like, well, I don't want to sell things. And you're like, oh, I don't sell, I just share. You have just done 2 different things, right? You said one thing and you've done another. So, one of the things that I want to share is the training that we're going to be going through is for social media, okay? Specifically Facebook. And I know that there's been a lot of negative talk going on in the last probably week, especially last week. about Facebook. I just want to say that's y'all's opinion. I want everybody can have an opinion about Facebook. I am not saying Facebook is the best thing in the world. What I do want you to know is that as you're working with your accountability partners, this is not a time to complain about Facebook, okay? We're going to use social media to learn this information. How you use it after these 6 weeks is going to be completely up to you. A lot of this can be used in the real world with real people. It can be used on Instagram. There's other things coming out, but the training I'm going to be doing is specifically for Facebook, so we want to keep things positive. So now I'm going to go back to network marketing equals relationship marketing, okay? And I think that we need to talk what that means, because I know that Jill had posted something on there that people see her stuff more on her personal Facebook page. People also get upset with Facebook because they're like, they won't let me post whatever I want on my Facebook page. And we're not going to get into what Facebook is saying we can and can't, but I want you to know the reason that we have our personal Facebook page is to build relationships, okay? And building relationships is not about the business side of sharing our products, okay? Building a relationship is having that conversation with people before we ever get to network marketing, okay? So the relationship part is part of the marketing, but it is not the marketing. Does that make sense? I'm not sure how clear I'm being on that. Because I think a lot of times people are like, oh, I've got this relationship with this person, and so now I'm going to tell them all about my products. When really that's not what the relationship is supposed to be about. We want to find a need and fill a need, but first we want to have that relationship with that person, and that person always comes first, okay? Next week in Module 1, we're going to talk about how we can use most social media specifically for our Facebook personal page to build the relationships. We're going to talk about setting up a fan business page so that we can market what we have to offer, okay? And this is when knowing our strengths is going to be very important, and how to brand ourselves. So I'm going to talk about this just really quick, because these are some questions I have that I want you guys to work with your accountability partners, okay? So my top 5 strengths, mine personally, are learner, achiever, responsibility, input, and command. If you have not done the Strengths Finder, I actually have my book right here. If you have never done this before, let me know. If you have done it, find what your top 5 strengths are, because I'd like for you to share with your accountability partner what they are. But I want to share just a little bit about how I can serve others with my top 5 strengths, okay? So I love to spend time learning, which is why I took the reverse invite method training in the first place, right? Because I'm always wanting to learn. Because of my achiever, I took it because I want to achieve better results. I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, so I wanted to find something that would help me there. My responsibility kicked in when I had to decide if I was going to keep this information to myself or if I was going to share it with others. I personally feel responsible to share what I learned with you guys. My input has me going to other sources to find more information for myself and to share with you. And my command allows me to be bold, assertive, and tell you all what I think. So understanding my strengths helps me help you, okay? Melissa says she's never read it. Kasha says she hasn't, okay? For you guys that are on my team, let me know if you've never done the Strength Finders test. I'll give you more information, but I would love for you to text that to me so I can give that information to you later, because I'm not going to remember when this night is over from this, so just text me or personally message me, and I can give you more information to find that. If not, if you don't take the test, that's okay. If you know what your strengths are, great. This is great for those people that are not sure, and a lot of times we know what our weaknesses are. We have no idea what our strengths are. Knowing your strengths are going to help you be able to market what you have to serve with people, okay? Now, branding. Who has heard of branding before? All right. As we move forward, we're going to talk a little bit more about branding, but as we get started tonight, I want to talk a little bit about your personal Facebook page, and when you have a business page, you have a brand, whether you intentionally, just like if you didn't know you were intentionally marketing out there, you just might not have had a plan, but you were marketing. Everybody has a brand. I personally, I don't know if you guys can see, but on my wall, I actually have, I think it's 6 things on what I wanted my brand to be. So for the last probably 4 years, I would say, these are my 6 things that I consider kind of my brand, okay? It's faith, family, health, leadership, helping others, and live your dreams, okay? So my goal is if somebody was to go to my Facebook personal page or my E3 Health Facebook page, that they would see those 6 things, all right? But I personally have to be intentional on what I post to make certain that that's the brand that I'm showing, that's the brand I'm putting out there, okay? So I'll be honest, there are times that maybe something will come up in my feed and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to share that. And I think, no, that's really not me. That's not one of those 6 things. So I don't. I choose not to because my brand is very important to me, okay? So I want you to know that part of the training we're going to do, and I'm going to stop sharing this for just a moment and see if I can share something else with you guys. Let me see if I can get this up. Let's see. It's only wanting me to let me share that. Let's see my screen. Well, are y'all getting to see me play and nothing else? I can't find it. I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Let's see. Here it is. Y'all seeing that now? Good. Okay. So this is the Get to Know worksheet. One of the things that I'm going to have you guys sharing is I want you to go to whoever your accountability partner is, to their personal Facebook page and scroll through it for about 5 to 10 minutes and write down at least 5 things that you feel represents their brand by what they posted. Okay? And you're going to have the sheet. I'm going to post it in our group. But you're also going, if they do have a fan or business page, I want you to do the same thing. This is information because that's part of this accountability is for people to see from the other side. What we do, we know ourselves. We may think that we are sharing exactly who we are, but what other people see may be different. And so this is going to be another important part to why we want these accountability partners. And we're going to learn more about it. But I want you to be thinking about what your brand is. So down here at the bottom, the last question is, what brand do you want others to see when they see you online or in person? Okay. So just like I picked 6 words, you may want to do something. If you feel like I have no idea what my brand is, I don't know anything about that, I did take this little, it's called Archetype Branding. And if you like quizzes, I will post it as a resource for you. But I found it was really interesting too. And again, I don't know that it's going to let me, let's see if I can, see if it'll let me go up here. It looks like it did not save it up there. Anyway, it puts me as what's called a sage archetype, and I shared it with Sunshine, and she was kind of able to see. I think Sunshine found that she was too. And so with the sage, it walks through how you can brand yourself on what some of your personality, I'm going to say kind of your personality type things. So if you are looking for help, like if for some of you, you may know exactly what your brand is. You may have your words picked out. If you are clueless and you're like, I do not even know where to get started, taking a little assessment or quiz may be the next step for you in this next week, just so you have a better idea of what people, how you want to serve others. That's the best way I can put it, because we really want to look at how we can serve others. And some of us know some people need help with that. Okay? I'm going to let you guys unmute yourselves. I know we went a little late, and I apologize. And hopefully my voice hasn't been too screeching for you guys. So I see that there's a couple of questions here. So Angela, you put, that's been the hard part for me, how to share the general when I have the YL logo on stuff. So what, can you be a little more specific for me?
Yeah, because I do a lot of the reverse marketing, you know, with the blog.
Yeah.
Just kind of, you know, sharing, here's a need. Are you looking for a way to fill that? But that's been the hard thing so far, is for me to find the language where I could compliantly share, because I felt like having the YL logo on anything kind of already put the product out there, whether I mentioned it or not.
Right.
You know, so that's been that's really been my hang up for how to freely talk about the things that I know that my subscribers are already dealing with. You know, they've shared with their, you know, their health issues and their emotional issues and even spiritual issues and all that. Well, I've got products that help with all of that. But I've been real reticent to speak too much to that because, and that's why I didn't want to be creating content and posts on it, because I felt like it was just, I didn't know how close that was going to be.
Right. So one of the things that we've been talking about is doing things like this Zoom calls. I want you to think of these Zoom calls. This one is recorded, but you do not have to record Zoom calls. Okay. So think of Zoom calls as like a phone call or a being in someone's living room or sitting next to them. That's going to give you a little bit more opportunity to share what you're thinking and what you want to share with people, without it being something that they can take a picture of and they can post that, you know, Angela just said that this is going to work for that. Okay. Again, it doesn't mean that we're trying to be non-compliant, but it does give us a little bit more openness to talk freely than we could if we were typing it or we were doing an ad. Okay. And I'm thinking what you're saying about the YL products. Are you just saying like you have a tab that says Young Living on it? Is that the thing?
Not anymore, but one of the things in the P&L statement is that if we put an image out, because we're a member, we have to have on there that we are a YL independent distributor.
Right.
So if I have anything that I do promote that is connected to a product, I have to declare that it's connected to the company.
Right.
And stuff. So that's kind of, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Anything. So the only place I share those things are on my specific YL business page or in my my closed groups.
Right.
But if I talk about it on my personal page, it's just talking about that. Generally, I feel a whole lot better, and I'm so thankful for the supplements and things that I have that, you know, help me to do that.
Right. So one of the things I want you guys to think about is if you are not stating products and you don't have pictures of products and stuff. So I'm actually going to use, for instance, some training that I've done in the past about feet. Okay. I have used specifically plantar fasciitis, which is a diagnosis, and I have been able to promote that without it being non-compliant, because I am not putting it together with an oil or a product to help with the plantar fasciitis. Do I share about how we can use oils and stuff on our feet? Yes. Do I share about ways we can do it? But when I talk about plantar fasciitis itself, I'm using things that are not just related to the oils and stuff. So I talk about the plantar, the fascia blaster. I talk about using yoga toes. I talk about things that I can say can be used for plantar fasciitis. Okay. But I walk people through a whole process, starting with you can put the oils on your feet. I talk about at the end using Cool Zula pain cream because I can talk about pain then. So there's a lot of ways that we can talk about things. But what happens is what people do is they throw a picture of Panaway, I'm going to say essential oil, and they put on there, do you have plantar fasciitis? Okay. And if I do that, I have just become non-compliant because people are going to connect Panaway with plantar fasciitis. But if I just post a question, which is how I got like, I don't know, I think I had 12 or 15 people in my house. I just asked if anybody had foot problems and plantar fasciitis. And then I sent them a personal message asking them if they would like to come to my house for a class where I was going to tell them about ways that they could help with their plantar fasciitis. I did not sell that as an oil class. Of course, did I talk about oils? Yes. I called it a footsie class. So oils were talked about, the fascia blaster was talked about, yoga toes was talked about, education on the feet was talked about, all those different things. So with you and other people, I want you to think about the things that you can do to serve people and know that there's problems out there that, yes, our oils and our supplements are going to support and help, but there are other things too that we can pull together, okay? So, you know, me not feeling well, if anybody said, hey, can I pray for you? I'd be like, yes. And if you were here, you could pray for me and I would be happy for you to anoint me with some oils while you're doing it, right? But you don't have to put online, I'm praying for Shauna and I'm healing her with a frankincense, right? You could just say, I'm praying for Shauna and I anointed her or something to that effect. I'm just using an example because I'll be honest, I'm about to lose my voice. So this tonight was really just to kind of help you guys to start thinking about things a little bit differently than we have been doing things, because this is called the reverse invite method. Everything we've been doing, we're pretty much going to turn around and we're going to go the other way. So starting next week, what we're going to be talking about is going to be doing the opposite of what we have. And I want you guys to really be thinking about these questions that I'm going to post as soon as I get off of here in the beta test group, that you can print off, that you're going to be talking to your accountability person with this next week to really build that relationship with them, but also so that you're answering those questions for yourself. How can you serve people? Who is it that you want to serve? What are the things that you can do to help others? Because that's my goal for my business, is to help others. And I know that I can do that because I have done that. But I think, like some people said, this whole being afraid of the FDA and stuff, we do not need to be afraid. People have built to Royal Crown Diamond from the beginning to Royal Crown Diamond since the FDA stuff. So we really cannot use that as an excuse. Okay? So I'm just going to say right now that is no longer an excuse because we've seen it happen, them doing it compliantly without that being an issue. Do we need to do things maybe differently than you did before? Yes, but we're going to do everything that we've done differently now with the reverse invite method. Okay? So Sunshine will be putting this recording on the page. It may be tomorrow before that happens, but I will be posting the questions. If you have not got with your accountability partner yet, Facebook message them. Please do that in the next couple of days, because in this next week, y'all want to be going back and forth, asking and answering these questions with each other. I think that's all. If anybody has a question for me, feel free to ask now. No questions?
It was good, Shauna. I enjoyed it.
How was your event this past weekend?
Actually, it was pretty good. Traffic, we had a lot of competition in the area out here because, people were having community yard sales and all that. But it was, Saturday was really good. And there was one vendor, actually, on Sunday, she came over to me and she says, what can I do for my stuffy nose? Because the allergies were bad. We had a lot of wind. And so the dirt and junk was, I mean, we were outside and, you know, it's like it was getting crazy. So I personally use Sniffles, the kids. And I carry it around with me all the time. And I actually had it on the back of my table for me to use because I was having allergy issues while I was on there. And I said, well, I don't know if this is going to work for you, but I said, I try this. So, and I use it. And so she put a little on her finger and rubbed it under her nose. And she says, oh my goodness, this is really clearing up, like making me be able to breathe. And by the end, after about, 4 hours or so, before we were ready to leave, she came back over, ran over real fast. She says, can I get a little more of that? And so I had given her a business card. So I'm hoping we can get in touch. I didn't get her information, but you know, she may even be at the next event in April. So that was kind of fun.
Awesome.
But, yeah. So, you know, and there was good conversations, and I wasn't like getting real pushy about people signing up for the gift giveaway or anything like that. I did make sure that every piece of paper I had on my table had my information on it. And that way, if they picked something up, I just had to say, you know, my website's on there, and, you know, you can shop online there too. So that way it gives them the control of, well, would they like to be a member? If they do get on my webpage and they want something, I figure they can be a retail customer if they want, but they may decide that they want to do member, or they can contact me and get further information. So I'm going to see how that plays out. So.
Well,
And then
guys,
I've got another one this weekend, actually. I got invited by another event planner on Saturday evening, and she came and asked if I would be in her events. And so she's got another one, and it's a twice a month, but it's only like a 5-hour one on Saturday mornings. So yeah, so it's kind of good. So I'll be at another event this weekend. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully, you know, get some more contacts and connections, but had good conversation.
well, good. Well, you all have a wonderful week. I'm going to post as soon as we get off the worksheet for you all to go over with your accountability partners. Okay?
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.